Welcome to Entertainment with Les. Today I am going to share with you top 10 stars who destroyed their careers on talk shows. Number 10, from 1980 and 1981, Charles Rocket. It appeared like SNL was on. This all happened when it was on its dying legs. Following there were some personnel changes. In SNL, Gene Dumanian received a promotion to executive producer, after Lorne Michaels made the decision to pause the show. Many members of the show's original ensemble left after the ostensibly controversial move, forcing Gene to rehire a brand. Fresh cast thus opened up new opportunities for folks, but also caused others to lose everything for which they had worked. One cast member that had their career crushed on the episode was Charles Rocket. The comic was finishing the show when he uttered an F-bomb during a sketch. That is a big no-no when he used adult language, and ever since. In addition to ruining his career, he also received a reprimand for it, and several other people were sacked as a result. Yet it appeared that other cast members also suffered the same fate. Number 9, Fallon, Jimmy. Last year, celebrities were being cancelled for a variety of reasons left, right, and center. Ellen and her backstage squabbles were present. Lea Michele was there, complete with her Hollywood nasty streak. Jimmy Fallon was another option, because the furious crowds on Twitter want retribution when a video of the late-night presenter wearing blackface appeared online. The video in question was taken from a skit Jimmy was performing in 2000 in which he impersonated Chris Rock. Because the Black Lives Matter movement was only starting to gain traction when this all happened. People were particularly angry with Jimmy last summer, and some believed that his career was ended as a result. Yet just like many previous online controversies, this one also fizzled out. Do you all remember when Jimmy apologized and accepted responsibility for his actions? Do you believe that his career should have ended because of this scandal? After that, please comment below with your comments. Please consider putting a like on this video before I continue with the list, guys. Consider checking it out and subscribing if you've been enjoying it thus far during your visit. Number 8, Jenny Slate. The worst possible first day. I want you to see after I tell you about Jenny Slate's debut on Saturday Night Live. If you have a poor first day as she did. Because Jenny's first day ended before she ever had a chance to begin her job. After a brief pause, her career is now prosperous. In 2009, after being cast for the first time, Jenny got the chance to perform one of her own sketches, called Biker Chit Chat. She thought she remembered the sketch off the top of her head because when she went to save one of her lines, she succeeded. By mistakenly changing one of the terms and inserting an F-bomb in its place, the sentence became a little more mature. We're all aware. Having adult speech is a major no-no on network television, especially on shows like these. Hence, it was not helpful for Jenny in the slightest when she dropped that big old F. After that evening, Jenny found it difficult to suit the vibe of the show. She allegedly said that while throwing the F-bomb and a few other words behind. She was sacked from one of the most well-known TV shows due to the things that happened behind the scenes. That undoubtedly set her back in comedy for a while, but obviously not permanently. Number 7, Letterman, David. When famous people get implicated in a scandal, it's a major thing and could change your career. In light of this, David Letterman's own corny scandal was revealed on his late-night talk program. Some were unaware that the situation was serious. If David Letterman would ever recover from this disastrous episode, he would have revealed his affair and his close relationship with a studio employee on his late-night talk show in October 2009. He also disclosed that the threat to blackmail him for $2 million was the reason he was speaking out about his affair. He then informed his audience about the enigmatic parcel he discovered in his car one day, how his blackmailer had to be paid off in order to conceal his identity from the public, and how, rather than settle his debt to his wife, he had come clean about his conduct. Still, this was a significant thing. When it was discovered that his mistress was actually his employee, several people were surprised by this big story, what it meant for Letterman's show and career going forward. But after close examination, he had a little more time to see while afloat. It didn't kill him, but it came close. Number 6, Simmons, Gene. We can all agree, I believe. Gene Simmons is a strange man in several ways. He is an energetic man without any filters. Hence, you never know what he might say when you sit down with him in person. But you can only do so much. That at some point it won't be so offensive. The singer was a Fox favorite, frequently appearing on their programming where they would talk on current events and offer their perspectives. They enjoyed having him on their talk program because they liked the guy. But after stirring up a commotion in a meeting at Fox and making derogatory remarks towards some of the other employees, Gene received a lifetime ban, and it became a huge topic on its own. Some of the things Gene said to a few of the ladies at the network were leaked. Making statements like those today will almost certainly land you in hot water, and for a celebrity, that is never a good thing, since doing so could cost you your entire career. Number 5. Brian Adrian. Actor Adrian Brody enjoys great success. However, while presiding over Saturday Night Live in 2003 after scandal, possibly, there was a chance that if he had gone back, his career would have been completely ruined. At that time, cancel culture didn't exist. Adrian would have had his own over-party trending on Twitter if it had been, though. The person in charge of presenting SNL is the host. The musical guest's introduction that evening is the responsibility of Sean Paul. Was the musical guest the night June was hosting, and Adrian saw this as an excellent opportunity to introduce Sean in, to put it mildly, an intriguing way. Adrian appeared on stage sporting false dreadlocks when it was time to introduce Sean's performance. His has a Caribbean accent. When called out, it was viewed as being extremely offensive and uncalled for. He deviated from the plan to perform this part, which no one found even remotely amusing, because this was such a monumental and divisive failure. The actor was then prohibited from appearing on the show again. He endured a lot of criticism for a while following his image. Yet it's obvious that he's recovered since then. Number 4. Alyssa Simpson. This was the turning point in Ashlee Simpson's career, and since then, nothing has been the same. You are all probably familiar with the story. How uncomfortable it was for Ashlee to be spotted applying lipstick during her SNL performance. This was a turning point in Ashlee's life because she was meant to use it to establish her name and advance her musical career. Yet, since this SNL gaffe, Ashlee's name has become more associated with the sketch comedy show's missteps than with the music business, which is really unjust considering that she then dusted herself off. She pretty basically had her career destroyed by that episode and what came after it. Nonetheless, she did allow that to deter her, which is good. Number 3. Corey Smith. After the event involving him and Rihanna in 2009, Chris Brown seemed to have been on a quest to change his life. After that, the public had a drastically different opinion of him. A broken career was left for the singer to pick up. In the years that followed the incident, he struggled because he was painted in the media as being hot-headed, which wasn't helpful for him in particular. Then, 2 years after the Rihanna incident, he followed through on that hot-headedness in 2011. Chris Brown appeared as a guest on both and Good Morning America. Sat down for an interview with Robin Roberts to talk about and play a song off his most recent album. The performers and interview went somewhat as expected. Yet you could see Chris becoming upset while he was being recorded. Ramen began questioning Chris about his fight with Rihanna, so Chris kept trying to bring up the album. The interview and performance were over, but it didn't really work, and he became very upset. Chris stormed the platform, removed his shirt, and launched himself. A chair at a window caused it to break, sending glass into the sidewalk below. This interview further damaged Chris's reputation in the eyes of the general public and had a bad impact on his career. Number 2. Rapper T.I. was active in November of 2019. The talk show podcast named Ladies Like Us had T.I. as a guest. The rapper talked about his daughter and their relationship in this podcast. How he keeps an eye on his daughter's virginity. Yep, you read it correctly. The rapper discussed how he brings his daughter to a yearly gynecologist checkup to ensure that her hymen is still intact. Even so, it is frequently linked to her virginity. There are plenty alternative options. Apart than through intercourse, it can be shattered. Nevertheless, I was unaware of this until after he spoke to a sizable crowd about how worried he is about his daughter's purity. He received a lot of criticism and was suspended for a while, digging more deeply into how these meetings proceed. The rapper revealed to the listeners of the show that he had to battle the doctor to obtain his daughter's test results because it contained sensitive information. But even after all that drama, he still wanted to ensure that everything met his standards. Afterwards, I made remarks about other people who haven't had a sexual relationship, stating, "Who wants a virgin like truly all that effort?" And finally, number 1, everyone Gifford occasionally, when famous people are being interviewed, their statements may spark discussion. For it, they can even lose their job. Yet, in this instance, the interviewee was covered by fire and it had a significant impact on their career and how others saw them. For her time on Live with Regis and Kelly, Kathy will provide her finest note. Kathy Lee experienced a lot of criticism after her Today Show interview with Martin Short in 2012 generated a lot of controversy. When Martin went down for an interview with Kathy to talk about his part in the movie Madagascar 3, Kathy kept bringing up his wife. She was unaware that his wife Nancy had actually passed away 2 years earlier at the moment, following her fight with ovarian cancer. The interview was very embarrassing, because it was obvious that every inquiry concerning his wife Kathy touched a nerve. She did, however, realize her errors later. Backstage, Martin told her that his wife had passed away. Notwithstanding what Kathy claims, a lot of individuals found her remarks to be disrespectful. It was a sincere error. That the general public and pop culture don't really care about is something we already know. I now want you folks to tell me about that. If you've ever seen a famous person up close and how the encounter proceeded from spotting a famous person working in your city to actually meeting them and having a fun time with them. Tell me if you've ever had an experience similar to this, because becoming a celebrity seems like a very fantastic thing. Thanks for watching.